Hello and welcome to A Star to Steer Her By, your favorite Star Trek podcast. My name is Caitlin, and with me today are...
Jake?
Pointing vague. I like Chris just pointed vaguely at the screen.
One.
Hey, it's you.
Jake.
Well, I wasn't sure who he's pointing at.
Yeah, I realized as soon as I did it, like, wait a fucking minute. Chris.
And Ames. And now everyone knows that we're recording remotely because of the blizzard.
Yeah, blizzard my ass.
Well,
I
that
know, sucked.
I've been pre-gaming for the Super Bowl since 2 a.m., so I am shit-faced.
Nice.
There's just empty cocaine wrappers everywhere here.
Let's go, the Atlanta Falcons.
Empty cocaine.
Yeah, that's right.
Like a Sweeties or what?
Yeah. I just wanted to make a joke that I knew, that's obviously not how you get a cocaine.
It isn't?
I think you get it in little baggies.
Oh.
I don't know. Anyway.
What have I been getting then?
Powdered sugar.
Ooh, delicious.
He's just got confectioner's sugar bags everywhere.
Explains why his nose is bleeding all over the place.
Oh, God.
It does make me hyper.
That's good.
Anyway, that's not what this is about. What are we here for?
Oh yeah, Star Trek.
All right, a Star Trek podcast, not a empty packets of cocaine's podcast. So today we have reached the end of Discovery Season 1.
Woo!
Whoa. The episode in question... Oh, well, our episode number is 383, and the episode that we will be discussing is Will You Take My Hand?
No.
Now,
Get those
I actually
germs
put
away
some...
from me.
Nice to meet you.
Ah.
Okay, gross. Also, I used the bathroom and didn't wash my hands. Good to see ya. So I actually put a little thought into this on my way over because I was thinking about the word fuck.
Good.
Because this Star Trek gave us the word fuck. This is so fucking cool. Well, this episode, they decided not only, well, first of all, I'm getting ahead of myself. We're going down to the hive of scum and villainy.
You teased us with the fuck, and now you're bringing us a synopsis. Wow.
Well, that's how Star Trek did it.
That is how Star Trek do.
No, that's part of the synopsis, though. Don't worry, it's coming. I promise.
I'm excited.
So, well, don't be that excited. I've over-egged the pudding now. But we're going down to not the cantina from Star Wars, whose name I can't, Mos Eisley. We're going down to not the Mos Eisley cantina, but we are going down to a hive of scum and villainy on Kronos. And we're trying to find about, what are we even trying to find out about? Some cavern or some old temple or something?
Yeah, an entrance to a temple.
The volcanoes.
Because we're gonna fly a drone into an empty volcano to something. I don't really know. I don't really know what we're doing here, but let's talk about the word fuck.
We're finaleing the show. That's what we're doing.
We're finaleing the show. And really, we're going to learn about the word fuck. So we learn in this place that something Georgiou likes to do is fuck. That is to say, have intercourse with weird sex slaves. And she's really good at it, and she teaches them a few things because she's looking for information. Another use of the word fuck is fucked up, which is what Tilly gets when she huffs some fucking random drugs that she buys in some weird fucking crack den in Mos Eisley.
From Clint Howard.
Fuck around and find out is what happens when Ash decides that he's gonna go do some fucking gambling, and some Klingon is like, get the fuck out of here, Hume. And he's like, which apparently means, I'm gonna win all your money, bitch. And then he pushes them around. And what the fuck is what happens when we find out that Star fucking Fleet's plan isn't to whatever the fuck we said it was before, but is in fact to put a hydro bomb into one of these dormant volcanoes, or are they, and fucking destroy the Klingon homeworld.
So we got a really versatile use of fuck here.
Lots and lots of fuck.
It can be many parts of speech.
Also, there's some fuck. When Ash is like, Michael, I belong to neither world, I'm leaving.
I belong to neither world, but I am picking one.
Oh, and also, no, that's it. I think that's all the fuck I've got. I have no more fucks to give. We'll see. But anyway, that basically summarizes the episode. But Tilly, after she wakes up from her fucking random drug, I can't think of anyone worse to be like, I'm just do some random drugs. Can you imagine Tilly on random drugs?
I mean, we just got it, so.
I have various thoughts on that scene, but where do we want to start?
I want to start with the not quite end.
Okay.
And discuss the, let's call it the compromise. Because way back...
there was a what the fuck there, too, kind of.
when we started Discovery, guest James said,
James! I hope James is listening.
The problem sort of becomes when you are Starfleet and you are faced with, an enemy that cannot be reasoned with, what do you do? And in theory, the Starfleet way is you probably die. And so they sort of have to come to terms with the fact that there is no real negotiating with the Klingons in this war, especially since they are fractured. And so we come up with this sort of solution where the admirals are about to pull a badmiral, like admirals do. A starship crew finds out, like they do, and fucking stops them, but they don't stop them fully. They take what they were going to do and hand it over to the enemy to use as they see fit.
Which is fucking wild.
And
holy shit.
And they take it out of Kronos and put it on Earth.
Well, Earth doesn't have the same sort of
That's true. We're
series
not hollow,
of things.
Full of volcanoes.
Yeah, Earth is not made... Like, I now just imagine that Kronos is just a single giant piece of that, like, semi-hollow, lightweight... What's it called? That volcanic rock?
Yeah, what is
pumice?
it called?
Pumice or basalt, something like that. It's interesting because I feel like it's... Because one thing, I did often complain about in TNG and DS9 is that the Federation clearly tried to deal in good faith with a bad faith adversary in the form of the Cardassian government.
That's how the Maquis was formed.
Yeah, and I never had a solution, I was like, I don't know what they should have done. I just know they done fucked up.
You don't think handing them a gigantic bomb was
Oh, no,
the
sorry, I'm
way to
talking
go?
about Starfleet in the 24th century. But now,
Starfleet in the 24th century!
But now the thing is, so with this, they've come up with a solution. I don't know if it's a good solution.
And do we trust L'Rell, really?
But I do appreciate that.
I don't know.
Again, I don't know how well they succeeded, but I appreciate that they did address, okay, but really, though, how do you deal with either a bad... I wouldn't say the Klingons are a bad faith actor. The Cardassians are bad faith actors. The Klingons just have a completely different set of values. And they are completely incompatible with how Starfleet is doing things. And I don't know. I still, all these years later, at the time and even now, it's an interesting ending, but I don't know, how it makes me feel. So I wanted to start with that.
It's supposed to feel like, oh, good, they've come full circle. But then the more you think about it, you're like, but what? But what actually did I just watch? I think the best thing about possibly this whole season, and at the very least this episode, is the moral ground that Michael Burnham comes to stand upon after her initial impression as that mutineer that everyone hates. And then she's the one who figures out what's happening, throws it in Cornwell's face you fucking threw me in prison for life for doing exactly fucking this.
Less than this. I mean,
Much
she at
less.
least didn't fucking destroy a whole planet.
Yeah, where are our morals? And is able to say, I have a better idea. Let's free L'Rell, apparently. Why? Let's let Georgiou wander off and we'll never see her again.
That...
Don't make me come after you, she said playfully.
Yeah,
waggling her finger thusly.
Yeah, seriously.
That undoubtedly, bad idea.
Terrible idea!
Trusting L'Rell, maybe not ideal, but again, if part of the issue is you can't negotiate with someone who doesn't have a singular government, and that's what she's going to offer, so it's...
She's going to have to press the destroy Kronos button immediately.
Well, apparently she doesn't, and someday it gets moved to Praxis, and then it gets pushed.
That's good, I like that.
New headcanon, that's actually what happened to Praxis.
Yeah, so I don't know. I kind of feel like it's wrapped up a little
hastily,
too conveniently and hastily.
This felt like the ending of Deep Space Nine when they remembered suddenly that Gul Dukat was still in the fire caves.
Yeah.
Oh shit, we have to deal with that? Fuck.
Well, it's like we've had L'Rell in the brig for
weeks,
half the season, basically.
The whole time we were in the Mirror Universe, she had no idea.
And we haven't really done much with her. The only thing she's done is kill Voke Kilvoke's consciousness from Tyler.
She befriended
Women, am I right?
Cornwell.
Yeah, and you know, she's had a couple of like heart-to-hearts with different people, but like she's not doing anything.
It does kind of feel like they knew they needed her to be in their hands in the finale, so they had to arrest her, but didn't know what to do with her until then. I will say
why
that.
not? Like, why? Like, giving her this bomb, and like, that's putting a lot of faith in her.
Yeah,
and it's putting a lot of faith in these other Klingons who we know are kind of loose cannons and just want to destroy. Like, what's to stop them from just shooting her in the face?
Yeah, and taking the tablet. Like, is the tablet set to blow up?
Is it a dead man switch?
Right.
Why didn't they give it to Ash?
Well, they did say that
because they didn't know Ash was going to stay yet.
Yeah, but also they did say that the tablet is locked to someone's gene something.
Yeah.
So in theory they could kill her, but then no one could use it.
That's fine.
True.
Yeah, I guess that's
but
yeah.
Then they would probably end up warring with each other over the tablet before they found out it was gene locked, and they
also,
still
like,
probably insist they could get to it.
I just don't buy that. Like, if I walked in to, I don't know, Congress and got up in front and held up my phone and said, "This phone controls a nuclear bomb that is under this building right now."
Which she didn't even say. She just said, this is my proof. And they're like, what even is that?
Yeah, like, what the fuck? Like, what is this?
Jake, not
you really
to
want to play
contradict
Angry
you,
Birds.
but I feel like the way things are right now, and by the time this goes live, who knows what will have happened.
Oofda.
If Elon Musk walked into Congress, held up his phone and said, this is connected to a nuclear bomb, I feel like at this point, Congress would just shrug and go, he's probably not lying.
Yeah, maybe. But I don't know. It seems a little too much like, okay, well, I guess we'll just take her word for it and make her the king of Klingons.
Yeah, they take it a little too readily, I'll grant you that.
We needed to have lots of heartfelt goodbyes and long-winded speeches. We only have 20 seconds to finish up this Klingon bullshit, okay?
And then we don't have
time for that.
So, yeah, I mean, the obvious comparison is, and it's already been brought up, is like the Cardassian Dominion War in DS9.
Which stretched out over many seasons.
But like...
Well, and then had like a 10-episode finale, pretty much, you know?
Yeah, and like, recall that everything that they did, all the fighting, all the battling, I would say that the two things that actually ended the war is the Cardassian uprising, so like a civilian-led...
Damar and
stuff.
With
Damar.
Yeah, Damar. Because that galvanized the people against the Dominion. And then, you know, but even at that, the Dominion was still prepared just to wipe out the population until the thing that really did it was compassion and like Odo going in and being like, look, I know y'all are dying. I can help if you end this war. It
is actually, I didn't think of that, but it is very similar in that, like, somebody sketchy, in this case, Section 31, the, not anti-heroes, but bad guys, made a disease, and better people came along and fixed it, and that's what kind of saves the day.
Mm.
And it's interesting that, I hadn't thought of that, but like kind of twice now, Star Trek has sort of dealt with the fact that when you're dealing with absolutely insurmountable people, it feels like the only way to win is for someone bad to start something horrible, but then you cut them off at the last minute, so you get to claim the moral high ground, but it still did technically help you win.
Well, if we're lucky, maybe that will be in the finale of our current story. Someone will come forward with some compassion and stop all this madness.
We'll go to Mars on SpaceX.
Trump is going to have Musk killed and say, look, I've cured your Elon Musk problem.
Yeah, and once again, fixing a problem he caused. I actually have, can I give you my fan theory about what's going to happen in the government? Because I have a fan theory.
How much of this do we want on record?
I don't give a shit. You guys can decide. But I just want to tell you. So here's my fan theory, okay? Elon Musk now has access to the Treasury, right? The reason why is because, and the reason why Trump is buddies with him and Zuck and all these other rich cunts Trump's actually really good, okay? Because he's going to use the treasury payment system to fuck and whatever it was that they had in Swordfish to like steal everybody's money.
Yeah.
He's going to steal the money of all the gajillionaires. He's going to spread it out equally among everyone in America.
Okay, you're sniffing whatever Tilly was.
That's right. And,
bullshit.
No, but guys, here's the thing though. It actually
himself.
tracks because he's stupid. Because if we actually did that, it would crash the global economy and everything would be fucked.
He's already doing that.
Well, then at least all of us might as well be billionaires.
Speaking
it's
of,
not really my fan theory, but I was saying, wouldn't it be great if
Honestly, like that sounds like something like QAnon would come up with, though. Like that's.
I don't know if you know this or not, Jake, but I am Q.
I kind of figured it.
Did you knew? Son of a bitch.
There's not enough weird number shit involved for it to be QAnon. Speaking, though, of Trump.
No, everybody gets 18. Everyone gets $18 million and 18, like the 18 words and the Hitler, whatever the fuck. I don't know.
Anyway.
Is that QAnon? Am I doing it right?
I realize, Lorca is the unsubtle Trump stand-in.
Oh, yeah.
And I realized they gave a W line to Georgiou in this one.
What was the line?
You're either with me or against me.
Oh, damn.
Which, I mean, a lot of people have said, but very infamously, W said it. And I gotta say, it is shocking, like, how much people have already forgotten that piece of shit because of the bullshit Trump's been pulling since 2016.
People are pleading for, like, someone like him again.
Which, like, no. So, yeah, it's...
Well, I don't know, compared to what we've got now.
No. That's the Overton window in a nutshell.
The Overton window?
The idea that the Overton window shifting to the right is, like, it's a political theory, but it's just, like, as things keep moving further and further right, what is considered progressive also inevitably shifts further and further right.
I gotcha. Okay. Thank you. This has been Political Science Corner.
But yeah, it's like not subtle, which is fine, I guess. At least this one's not as immediate a quote. But, I'll make the right-wingers the bad guys. I am okay with that, Star Trek, especially after the bullshit you pulled in Season 3 of Enterprise.
Exactly, and especially after you name-dropped Elon Musk, you twats.
Because that's the thing, like, for all I was saying about, like, DS9 and this kind of end on, we get to cut the ultra bad guys off at the pass, but still kind of use their stuff, and it's like, okay, do you really get to claim the moral high ground then? I will take that over, like, Enterprise and its full-throated support of everything John did.
The ends justified the means.
But their throat is full of boot.
Yeah. So
all the licking.
It's again, my feelings about the solution are complicated because I think it's an imperfect solution because there is in reality no perfect solution.
But they act at the end like it's happily ever after, and I feel like I know in Season 2 it comes up, but I honestly don't remember a ton of Season 2, so we'll see what exactly happens if there's fallout or more things that progress from there in Season 2. But acting like, good, this is how it really should go. Cinderella's story for Laurel and all this thing. When really it should feel like this is just the next chapter of bullshit on Kronos.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Inevitably, there is always another chapter of bullshit on Kronos, because that is just, again, how they've written the Klingons since TNG. They're always falling into infighting and civil war and all this other nonsense. And that's, I guess
the other piece to this that is totally ignored, not discussed, maybe it'll be discussed next season, I don't know, but is, we see in the previous episode, we see a map of the boundaries of different things. And the Federation has been practically obliterated. I'm assuming they have very few ships left. Mm-hmm. We know that most of their star bases are gone, if not all of them. They show us in this episode, the Klingons are literally on Earth's doorstep. They're out at Jupiter hanging.
Yeah. They've dropped by the TNG opening.
Yeah. So what's not really addressed is where do we go from here? So is there a peace accord? Is there ambassadors? Are they working out the...
God, I heard pizza cord.
Is there a pizza cord?
I wish.
No,
we're having technical difficulties.
To end a war without totally wiping out the enemy, you kind of need to discuss with them terms of surrender or And in this case, is it really even terms of surrender? It's really just that the Klingons just lost interest in the war, basically.
I mean, what we have to assume happens is L'Rell is successful in her takeover. Thus, some sort of negotiations begin to determine who's getting what back, when, and how. And as we know from TOS, by the time of that series, they're basically in kind of a Cold War with the Klingons.
Yeah, which is only 10 years later.
Yeah, but like, do they... Because the Klingons to me don't seem like the types that are just going to give up their territory that they've conquered. Like that seems like a pretty big deal to them as conquest.
Yeah.
So are we to assume that the borders that we see at, in the previous episodes, those are the new borders, and like maybe the Federation eventually gets some back? But
well, how much Federation is left? They've been being decimated for months.
I know,
in this
that's
war.
the thing. It looked
Who's
to
left?
me like there was very little. There wasn't very much left.
Yeah,
maybe,
I think
maybe for all I know, maybe that's what happened. Like maybe the Federation was much, much bigger, and then this war happens, and now it's down to it's much, much smaller, and that's just how it is from now on.
I mean, I remember someone saying at the time, like, man, this war certainly explains why the Enterprise was the only ship in the system all the time. Half their fucking fleet was decimated.
I feel like that happens to them every couple of centuries, huh? Like,
yeah. Also, it would explain why they're constantly seeking out new mineral rights in TOS.
Yeah. Well, so we have to. I would assume that like following this war is when the neutral zone is established. That
maybe
it's talked about in Star Trek VI.
Yeah, and maybe that's what it is. Maybe with the establishment of that, they do get some of that. Because that's the other thing is like they even said these were people just kind of when the house is fractured, they were fucking shit up, but how much actual active control they were establishing once they did that was a little vague. Like, we knew they took over that star base, but they weren't trying very hard once they did it. Like we said, they like saw this ship come in and they're just kind of like, hey, what's that? So, and again, with a semi-sympathetic chancellor now, maybe they were able to wrangle some territory back. It's definitely vague.
Can I ask a timeline question?
Yes.
When do the Khitomer Accords actually happen?
That's well after Star Trek VI.
Yeah. It's sometime between 6 and TNG.
Is that after Worf was orphaned?
He
after he was orphaned.
Orphaned,
I think
good God.
I think. Well, maybe. So we're technically the Khitomer Accords. Was that what they negotiated in 6? Because that was where the peace conference was happening at Khitomer.
Oh, yeah, I guess I could.
But
just
I
look
don't know if the result of that were the Khitomer Accords, or if like Khitomer just kind of became neutral ground where they would meet.
Knowing Star Trek naming of things, it's that. It's the first one.
But we also know that Worf was orphaned because the Romulans attacked Khitomer, where he and his family lived. So like, apparently it's also a place where Klingons live.
The first Khitomer Accords, according to Memory Alpha, were signed at the Khitomer Conference in 2293 on planet Khitomer.
Which I think would be Star Trek VI.
Yeah, that's Star Trek VI.
Okay.
But I don't know if there's other Khitomer. Like, it just seems like there was a continued diplomatic situation at Khitomer, at least until Duras took down the shields. Yeah,
well, they even said, like, the first Khitomer Accords in the article, so it sounds like there must be later ones.
Yeah.
Maybe it's something they revisit every so often.
I was just curious because, like, I feel as we know, I'm watching Deep Space Nine for the 8th time or whatever, and Dax mentions, like, that she was there, or that Curzon was there doing some Khitomer accordions, and I just...
Yeah, there may have been several. Like, every time the Klingon Empire's government collapses and rebuilds itself, they have to redo the Khitomer Accords.
It's probably true. They have to, like, make sure that the new emperor is on board for the same rules.
Yeah, or chancellor or whatever.
Yeah, one thing that I'm curious about, because, back in the day when this series was first in design and pre-production, and Brian Fuller was in charge, oh boy, those were the days. what would the actual plan have been? Because I feel like
I have no idea.
L'Rell wasn't barely even a character that they thought of originally before they come up with she's now going to be a female chancellor of Kronos, which is nice, girl power on Kronos. But I wonder what the plan was.
Yeah, we might find out someday in 20 years after his NDA has expired or whatever.
Yeah, but I mean, definitely, I would assume that whatever Brian Fuller had planned for the show is completely different than what we got.
Oh, I'm sure it was.
Can I ask another question that's fueled by Deep Space Nine, actually? In the House of Quark, what's her name?
Grilka.
Grilka, comes to, get with Quark because she, can't run her house if not. So, right? Isn't it something like that? So the problem is she was married to the guy that Quark accidentally killed. Mm-hmm.
And
in Valiant, Glorious Battle.
Yeah.
Well, right. Well, it turns out that depending by Klingon law, depending on how the husband dies, if he dies by misadventure or an accident, then the woman can inherit. But if he dies in combat, another family member or something can take over. So it was basically his brother who's a dickhead.
Who wasn't even his brother, right? Wasn't he faking it?
No, I thought he was, but he was just an asshole. I don't remember. But basically, she needed to marry Quark because Quark had a right to the house.
I see.
To the property because he had defeated in glorious combat her husband.
Women's rights on Kronos do take a hit sometime between Star Trek 6 and TNG because...
Yeah, this is exactly what I was wondering, because how could L'Rell be in charge at all if...
Right, well, because they, in Star Trek 6, we know the Chancellor's daughter, whose name escapes me.
I love her.
Azit Burr is installed as the new Chancellor when her father is killed, but by TNG, someone says women can't be Chancellor.
Well,
so...
if you would recall... In my fanfic, The House of Dax, I explained that Kempek was a Trumpian-style reformer who rolled back women's liberties on Kronos after taking power.
Yeah, but that's the thing, is something like that, in theory, did happen because, in TNG, they can't be Chancellor, and there's all this stuff with property, whereas, again, even as early as Star Trek 6, women were doing just fine for themselves.
Yeah, no, they definitely, and that was sort of why I put that in there. It was okay, something changed between then and now, and we need a retcon.
And so what you explained isn't the actual thing. It's just
no. I made that up.
There is no explanation. I think a lot of fans just assume that a Chancellor between Azit Burr and present or TNG times said, no more women, fuck this. That was a bad idea. Azit Burr was a bitch.
Fuck these bitches.
We also just know that there were corruption was a huge issue.
Yeah.
In the Klingon government of that time.
I'm guessing this guy was actually an incel of some kind.
Yeah.
Azit Burr's successor.
Klingsel. That's good.
Anyway, I'm going to drag us kicking and screaming back into this episode.
Oh, okay.
Where do we fucking start now? Yeah, just keeping going with the L'Rell thing and tying that into the Georgiou thing. Because Georgiou just goes and just beats the shit out of L'Rell in the prison cell. Because Georgiou can't fucking blend in this fucking...
Oh my god, she's so bad.
But it's
I didn't ask you what we were fucking looking for. I want to know what's looking at us. Holy shit, Captain.
It does track, though, with TOS. When they said, oh, yeah, no, when your counterparts got here, we knew right away something was wrong.
Yeah. But it also, why was it important then that the bridge crew think that it was actually Georgiou when...
They could have figured it out in a second.
There's never a point when the rest of the bridge crew, goes wait a minute, you're not Georgiou.
Yeah, I mean... I guess
it really just makes them look like they're fucking stupid if they still falling for it.
They knew so they knew obviously that the crew wouldn't take orders from Emperor Georgiou, and maybe the assumption among the crew is wow, I never knew she was such a bitch. Maybe being captive by the Klingons for however long made her one. That tracks.
But here's the other thing: why did Georgiou need to be the captain?
Why couldn't Cornwall stay?
Why couldn't Cornwell take
right?
command,
Because-
order the ship to Kronos, and then just have Georgiou deliver the bomb or whatever?
Because Badmirals always want plausible deniability.
Keep their hands clean.
They're not going to actually lead the shitty mission they signed off on. They're going to make someone else do it.
But here's the thing: they also didn't tell the crew what the real plan was because
the crew would have stopped it like they did.
Right. So, the point is, if they were going to say that we're not delivering a bomb, we're delivering a mapping drone, they could have just told that to Saru and said, Saru, fly the ship to Kronos and deploy this mapping drone under the surface. There was no reason for Georgiou to take command other than to have that dramatic entrance in the previous episode, because she gave herself up after 10 seconds in this episode.
When she starts gnawing on Saru.
And then we
it's like a fucking like a Bugs Bunny cartoon. Like someone's like she's like doing salt and pepper over him when he's just standing there. He's like, what the fuck is this? She just starts chopping onions next to him, like da 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 da.
But like, and she's in the captain's chair for all of 5 minutes, and if that, before she leaves the bridge and is never on the bridge again.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you're right. Damn.
So there was never any reason for her to be
Because we got
quote
to
unquote captain.
We got to Kronos in 0.5 seconds because Stamets is that good, and there was no tension in. Oh, we have to get to Kronos. It's going to be super secret and difficult. Oh no, we're here already.
Yeah, guys, we better be careful. There's tons of ships in the quadrant. Oh no, actually, we made it with no problem. They just skipped all that this time around.
Super easy,
Yeah.
barely
Barely
an inconvenience.
Well, yeah, and that was the other thing. Like, there was a big deal that they were going to jump into one of these subterranean locations, and then like that again, that wasn't a big deal at all. Like, did we even see the ship materialize inside the?
Yeah, we did.
Okay,
It did.
I totally
It did have to like
shift a
level
little.
off. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it was so nothing of a moment.
Blink and
that
you'll miss it, babe.
I blinked and I missed it, and then like it's never even like the fact that the ship is under the planet isn't even
Under the
thing.
planet. Under the planet.
Anyway, it just seems like, I think I said this last week, where they really like drew out all of these sort of mini arcs throughout the season, and then they got to this finale arc, and they're like, okay, we have 2 episodes to wrap this up.
Yeah,
Let's spend half of one episode talking, and then we'll just cram everything else into this one episode.
Like I said last week, it's the Surf Dracula problem.
Yeah. And then the other thing, so Cornwell, who was apparently all down for some genocide,
And
So
Sarek.
down.
and like everyone knows because we have this conversation on the bridge in front of everybody about, hey, about that genocide you wanted us to do, we got a better idea. Let's not.
How about if we don't?
How about we don't and say we did?
When did we tell the rest of the bridge crew that it's Mirror Georgiou too? Because they obviously knew by the end.
Well, yeah, I'm sure they figured it out on their fucking own.
They all had to act surprised. What?
Like there's this Oo and Detmer looking at each other like, man, Georgiou's a real bitch now, huh?
Yeah, you think Detmer would know right away because she did know her.
Yeah, she served on the fucking Shenzhou.
Oh no, she has some. I don't know.
Like,
Never mind.
how are there no consequences for Admiral Cornwell here? Like I feel like that's a go to jail type thing.
I mean, here's the problem.
Admirals never pay.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is, like, it's not just her. The Admiralty and Sarek and probably some other ambassadors all signed off on
Oh
that.
yeah, there's probably a Tellarite and an Andorian that were on board as well.
Yeah, and
You know
like,
who we haven't seen in a long time? Remember there was a black Vulcan admiral that would talk to before they introduced Cornwell, or maybe it was after they introduced Cornwell, but they would periodically have Lorca talking to this Vulcan. We haven't seen him. I thought he'd pop back in. I thought he'd be the Admiral because he kind of seemed Vulcan-y and stuff.
he could have been one of the, because they did say like most of the command structure's been wiped out. He could have been among the casualties.
Yeah, he got blowed up. Maybe he was the commander of Starbase 1.
Yeah, but like, yeah, that's the thing. Is like, there's really no one left to hold them accountable. Because if you do, you basically have to hold the entire like upper echelon of and then you're just out of Starfleet.
Yeah.
Which is not good, don't get me wrong, but that's what it just is ultimately.
Yeah. But yeah, I do feel like it does feel a little weird that there were no consequences whatsoever for this plan that.
They get to give a little speech at the end.
Oh, and the little fucking speech.
Could have done without that.
I hated
It's a little too cheesy.
It was super cheesy, and the fact that it's Burnham, like, why would Burnham be the person giving this speech?
She is the most important person in the world.
We know that.
Who else would? Because Cornwall, we know these aren't Cornwall's morals. She didn't believe this.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah,
Who's left?
Burnham's just like a person that was there.
Well, she did come up with the plan to fix the plan. I mean, she's the one who's really, like, we're gonna give L'Rell the bomb.
Don't you mean she's the one who once again fucking couldn't follow orders and mutinied and did whatever the fuck she felt like doing?
But
because
this time she didn't follow the right orders, or chose the right orders not to follow.
And
sounds
she's
like mutineer talk.
And they also, they wrap it up. Now she's reinstated. She's pardoned, but then reinstated.
Yep.
As a commander. So
her old rank.
So she's basically like nothing ever happened. So
and she gets a medal too.
And she gets
Everybody
a nice medal.
gets medals regardless if you did anything or not.
Like that time Kirk got knocked down from being allowed on active duty or whatever, and then 3 seconds later he was back in it because everybody was dead.
Oh, in Into Darkness.
Into Darkness, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also did hate in that final speech. So Michael gives a little speech. It's like, okay, a little speech. It summarizes the season and the whole moral thing, which I enjoy. Yeah. But her, like, interspersing commentary while Cornwell is going through the awards.
I didn't like that editing.
It felt like really shitty editing. Like, was she still mic'd up? Was she saying this to everybody?
Well, that's what was unclear.
I thought it was at two different times. I thought that, she was giving this talk to her crew
you think it was
in one room, and then on stage in front of everyone at Starfleet, Cornwell was doing
that. They showed that she was addressing the crew, but she was standing in front of a huge auditorium of people with her back to the audience.
That's fucking stupid.
But that's what I couldn't tell was, like, if she was supposed to have given that speech in full, and then Cornwell gave out the awards, but they decided to intersperse it in the episode.
Yeah, it just feels like she's cutting Cornwell off.
Or vice versa. Like,
someone
it was a deeply bad editing choice.
Bad editing, yep.
Is that, like, the speech was mostly fine, but the interspersing made it stupid.
Yeah, it was weird. If that was really supposed to be happening live, that's, like, not a thing.
And that's the thing. It's because the editing is so bad, it's unclear if it's supposed to actually be happening that way, or if they're, like, these things happen separately in the same room, but they montaged it. Good verb. I hated that. It was like, no, you should have just let Michael finish her piece and then let Cornwell do her thing.
Or done it with Cornwell not speaking, so that it's just the visual happening, so that you might get that it's not happening at the same time.
That's normally how you would do that, I think.
Yeah. Bit of a cock up there for sure.
But I like that, we acknowledge that Saru is the first Kelpian to ever get the Medal of Honor or whatever the fuck it is. Mm-hmm. That was cool.
Yeah, Saru's excellent.
I
love Saru.
Very tasty.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I loved that when fucking Georgiou is like, oh, have you gotten tough since the last time I saw you? And he's like, yes, someone say unpalatably so. I was like, hell yeah. You fucking tell her, bitch, you know.
Yeah, but then you think, he's supposed to be doing this so the rest of the bridge crew doesn't pick up on it? And why? Because it's so fucking heavy-handed.
It's so weird.
It's so weird.
Just for the audience.
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
Well, but like,
it is
also,
whatever. I am the audience,
obvious.
and I was pleased.
Yeah, but that's the first injection of like there's a little bit of sass toward Saru this season, but I feel like they really start to run with that in future seasons, and that's fine. Sassy Saru is best Saru.
Mm-hmm.
So we've beamed the ship into Kronos, into a volcanic chamber or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But we need to go to the surface to fucking Mos Eisley.
Mm-hmm.
So that we can find an entrance to a subterranean place with volcanic. Weren't they already in a subterranean place with volcanic? What the?
Well, that one was isolated. They needed one that was connected to the volcano system.
The what?
This whole fucking stupid side quests to Mos Eisley just seems stupid.
Well, I will say, here's the thing: for all that, like, it's weird and pointless. Truly, this is when Discovery really embraces Gene's vision unadulterated horniness.
Oh my God, there was so much butt.
Well, yeah, tons of horniness. I thought you said truly embraces Gene's vision. Clint Howard.
Yay!
That too. Clint Howard and unadulterated. Like, that's the thing.
Yeah, why didn't Georgiou fuck Clint Howard? That's what I want to know.
I didn't know he was there. But, like, I know we had said back when we were talking about the Mirror Universe a few weeks ago, like, oh yeah, the Mirror Universe doesn't have to be horny anymore because you can be horny in the Prime Universe now. But it's like, oh no, wait, the Mirror Universe is still extra horny. Because she gets here and is like...
Oh, wow, you guys fuck? Great.
But I will say, I do appreciate the retcon that there are also male Orion sex workers.
Ooh, I like that. That guy was tasty.
The other thing about Orions that I don't know, have we seen male Orions with hair yet? Because I feel like all the ones we've seen before are like bald.
That's the thing. They redesigned them for Enterprise, and that's fine, because I hated that it was like male Orions were all these huge hulking monsters with bolts in their heads, and the women were, sexy women. Like, I'd rather like, either they've all got to be huge and bulky monsters, or they all have to just be green people. Pick one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's the only time we see other Orions, period, is in those Enterprise episodes.
Outside of TOS, the canonicity of which is always vague.
TOS, did we see any male Orions?
TAS, sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, TAS.
Where they're wearing helmets.
Yeah.
So we don't know.
And in TOS, I mean, and we've seen Bilby. He worked for the Orions. He was an Orion.
He was a human.
Well,
that's the next episode I'm watching in my rewatch.
I stand by my assertion that Orions are not a species and that making them a species is a fucking retcon.
There.
Well, I mean, most people only know, the only thing people know about Captain Kirk is that he fucks green people.
Which he doesn't.
I was just going to say, which is not true. So
it's fucking Pike. That's Pike's all over that, though.
Yep. But yeah, no. A little over-the-toply horny.
Actually, shit. Kirk does fuck green person in
2009.
2009.
Well, the Kelvin timeline's its own thing.
Fair.
Yeah, that's a different Kirk.
It's its own thing.
But yeah, we got Clint Howard,
as himself,
who's also a green man.
I don't know if this is the first appearance of an actor who'd been in, original run Trek in the streaming era, but he's certainly the most obvious.
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, that might be.
Yeah, I mean, so interestingly, right, Clint Howard must have the distinction of having appeared like in the most series.
I think we just
TOS.
No, he is not. It is.
And it isn't Jeffrey Combs either.
The guy who played Galt in TOS's The Gamesters of Tristalion.
Oh, because he's just a big gangly motherfucker.
Yeah, because he was in TOS, TNG, DS9. I want to say also Voyager, but I might be wrong. Yeah, he was in a million fucking things. That guy.
So Clint's been in TOS,
DS9, and Discovery,
and in Enterprise.
Oh, right. I forgot he was a Ferengi.
Oh yeah, the Ferengi.
Really? I forgot about that completely.
He was in that one.
But yeah, I'm not sure if anyone else who'd been in like terrestrial Trek had yet appeared in streaming Trek at this point.
Yeah,
I don't know if anyone has been in all three, like terrestrial, Kelvin, and streaming.
Oh, you're including Kelvin in this. Has anyone from Kelvin been in any other Trek at all?
That's what I'm saying.
Leonard Nimoy, of course.
But, well, that's fair.
Yeah, but
he won't be.
Well, and Engineer Olsen had been like a random alien in like an old TNG or DS9 or something. But I don't know if anyone's been in streaming, terrestrial, and Kelvin.
True that.
Getting back to Clint Howard, and I don't know how comfortable I am with the whole Tilly getting drugged scene.
No, it's kind of fucked up.
Because it's fucked up because it's played for laughs.
Yeah.
And I had a similar problem in, I forget the name of the episode, where Seven accidentally gets drunk in Voyager. Yeah. And it's like, oh, look, it's funny because, she's like, oh, I love everyone. You're my best friend. And it's like, it's supposed to be funny. And it's like, yeah, but this wasn't her choice. She did not intend to do this.
Right. And somebody should have fucking warned her. I mean, nobody in Mos Eisley was going to warn Tilly, obviously, but
she could have
Seven
not
was theoretically
inhaled.
amongst friends. Just like Bill Clinton.
If
She had said I didn't inhale, she would have been the second character to quote a fucking president.
That's good.
But yeah, that's she maybe should have just leaned her head in and pretended.
Yeah. Like, it's one of those tropes that you see sometimes where it's like, oh, someone who didn't want to do it is forced to do it, or, peer pressured into doing this thing, and it's supposed to be funny when they're high. It's like, it's not funny then.
And in this case, too, there's this weird extra element. It's not even peer pressure so much as like, I have to do this for the mission. And that's, in a way, worse.
Yeah,
True.
it kind of is. Plus, she's like definitely like the most naive and childlike among them. There's like an innocence to Tilly.
I think.
And she's banged so many Bang members.
I'm saying, yeah, I think she's a little more worldly than she lets on, but this stuff was still definitely not something she was ready for.
It made me uncomfortable.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
No, it's not nice. You're right.
That's fair.
You're right, Ames.
No, I would agree. It's a completely fair assessment of the situation.
And also, like, not for nothing, but like, she like passes out. We don't know what the fuck.
Yeah.
You know? Like, let me tell you where you don't want to fucking get roofied is anywhere, but not in a fucking bar full of fucking intergalactic
Orions,
scumbags.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I mean, luckily, Clint Howard just tries to rob her and helps figure out everything's bad.
I know, she's like saying like, oh no, I have a bomb, and Clint Howard's like, yeah. Love that for you, bitch.
Sorry. Oh, hey, oh, hey.
Oh, that's got to be a quotey.
Quotey that right now.
The cough, I mean.
Oh no, not the cough.
Yeah, could you put the cough? How do you spell that?
BLEGHRQZ number 7 for some reason.
The symbol for Saturn.
Yeah. So what else we got? Oh, so about the bomb. Someone set us up the bomb.
Damn it! I meant to say that earlier. Forgot. Thank you.
What'd you say?
Oh fuck! There's the episode title.
What? Someone set us up the bomb.
I still don't get the reference.
It's an old, poorly translated
all
video
your base
game.
are belong to us.
Oh,
One of the first internet memes, really.
Because
Actually, so like, the previous episode should be called "All Your Base Are Belong to Us" because Starbase won.
That's good.
And this episode is someone set us up the bomb.
That's fucking
Hold
perfect.
on, I actually have to make myself a note because otherwise I will forget until I get to this moment in the edit.
Yeah,
and I'll go.
It'll be too late.
I didn't name last week properly.
Yeah.
Oh man, nice work. Can we go back and retroactively only use quotes from that game in the rest of the episodes of this?
Titles?
Yeah, seriously.
See, because it was a reference only you guys got and I didn't, I assumed it was Batman.
No.
God, Ames, we don't only quote Batman. Just mostly.
Okay, all set. Note made.
Fucking excellent.
So
good work, everybody.
Yes.
Great work.
Anyway, so someone set us up the bomb, and here's the thing about this bomb, right? It's explained as a hydro bomb, which you think would be like a hydrogen bomb, like a nuke.
Yeah.
But that's not what it is. It's a water bomb because
this is a Mega Man game.
Well, because they're going to it's going to be like a steam explosion or something.
Apparently.
Like,
keep in mind,
you ever been in a sauna too long?
That's true. But also keep in mind, though, this is admittedly Akiva Goldsman, who did work in the Kelvin timeline, which gave us the, what did they call the volcano freezing bomb?
Cold fusion?
Yeah.
Which is not what that is.
No.
Isn't that how you make cold brew coffee, cold fusion? I don't think.
I think someone needs to sit Akiva down and be like, buddy, sweetie, this isn't how anything works, especially as regards volcanoes.
Yeah, I mean, steam explosions are a thing, and they can be quite violent, but I don't know if it would, really, wasn't that isn't there like a Scientology thing about lighting off nukes inside a volcano to blow up a planet? I feel like
yes,
that's
actually,
a thing.
that's what causes the Thetans. I think they're all killed when.
But there was also something about they were flying 747s into volcano,
space capable ones.
Yeah, space 747s. Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to I have to reacquaint myself with the Xenu mythos, but
Do you?
But yeah, if you set off a massive steam explosion in a caldera, that one volcano might go, but I don't think it's gonna cause the entire planet.
But on Kronos, it would.
Yeah, apparently.
it's very Dr. Evil, whatever it is, because that is literally Dr. Evil's plan from the first Austin Powers movie.
All he really wanted was sharks with frickin' laser beams on their heads.
No, but you remember, like, the original plan was to put a nuke into the Earth and then make every volcano erupt at once.
Mm-hmm. Damn. Mm-hmm. I was just quoting Austin Powers earlier today. Oh my God,
and L'Rell has a scar on her face just like Dr. Evil.
Wow. Oh no!
She successfully extorted the Klingon High Command for $1 million.
It's secretly been Austin Powers the whole time.
Listen, it's 1 million Izziks.
Yes.
Oh, Izzik for your fucking
Which I hate came back up again. Although I don't quite know what they're trying to say when Amanda's like, oh, it's something from my mother used to say. It's like, yeah, but your mother was human, and this is supposed to be a
Was she thing. Apparently?
Well, maybe Izzik is a thing. I thought it would be like idic for your thoughts, because that's actually a Vulcan thing, but
that's not a form of currency.
No, of course not. But it could be like, I don't know, maybe on Vulcan, like they have coins that just have the idic printed on them,
and they call it an idic, like a wheat penny or something.
Yeah, like idic for your thoughts.
And then it somehow became Izzik. Yeah,
who knows?
So it's funny though, because Michael does think it's a Vulcan thing, but apparently it's not.
Or it's a Vulcan thing that made it to Amanda's mom, or Amanda's the one that brought it to Vulcans, and Vulcans are lying when they say they don't know where it came from. It's stupid. I mean, it's a bad joke.
It really is.
There had to be some sort of human culture happening on Vulcan to some extent, because how else would Sarek know his kink for humans? So there could be some sort of weird cross-cultural something or other happening there.
Space Pornhub?
It was logical.
Space
So was
Pornhub.
the scene so there's the scene between Michael and Amanda, and Sarek comes over and he gives her the badge. Is that scene, do you think, intended to be a direct callback to the scene where she does not get into the Vulcan Science Academy?
Oh, probably.
I didn't think of that, but I do now, yes.
Yeah, I think I had that thought. I was like, oh, this is kind of set up in the same way, because she's hanging with Amanda, and then Sarek comes over. This time he gives her good news.
Yeah.
Last time he gave her bad news because he sabotaged her.
I didn't catch that. Well done.
Jake's more than just a pretty face, you know?
Yeah.
I loved Amanda's cape. It was so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, this show does well with, like, capes. Like, I even liked Georgiou's little fur cloak thing
love
she
that
had going
thing.
on.
I want
that was
one.
Great. I mean, the costume design work, you know, when they get to go full evil or just full glamour is so good.
I mean, even, like, Michael's undercover look with that kind of, like, scarfy thing.
Yeah, no, she looked
everyone
good in
looked
that.
real good undercover.
I also appreciated, though, in that scene, again, that axiom of, like, don't overdo the futuristic stuff. It's raining. There's just a guy with an umbrella.
Yay, there are a lot of umbrellas.
You know, that's actually, to be honest, one of the most upsetting things about this episode is, like, I really hoped that, like, 200 years from now, we'd have a better fucking solution to not getting wet when it rains.
Well, maybe those things
the umbrella really.
I mean, they also have talked
sufficient.
about, like, there's weather control systems on Earth. So if it's raining, it's because somebody wanted it to rain.
It does need to rain sometimes.
It does, but also two things. It's the 23rd century. Maybe those don't exist yet. Or two, they broke during the war and they haven't gotten around to it yet.
Maybe.
And also, as long as these umbrellas don't flip inside out all the fucking time, then they're an improvement.
I haven't met a fucking umbrella that doesn't.
We'll see.
Also, I know the moment is past, but Pornhub of the universe.
Except in Florida.
I imagine, though, that even if you do have weather control, you would want it to rain. Like, but you would just schedule it ahead of time. You know, you'd be like, okay, there's going to be a rainstorm at 4 p.m. next Wednesday.
Be ready for it.
The weatherman actually is always right.
Yeah.
In this,
wow,
in this
what a
future.
universe.
I know, crazy.
One thing I wrote so many times in my notes is Burnham neck pinch Georgiou.
Yeah,
so
seriously.
Many like literally the moment it's like, Burnham with me, and they'll leave the bridge, neck pinch her right there, because she can't do it, because she can't control herself from being evil.
Yeah.
No, but here's the thing: she'll neck pinch her, and she'll be like, she'll pretend like she got neck pinched, but then she'll be like, actually, that nerve cluster
kink.
was just was blown off in battle.
That'd be a great detail. That would be a great detail.
Or
then
she
it has
purposely-
Bernie
It's also
doing
exactly what happened at the end of Serenity with Malcolm Reynolds when the bad guy tried to neck pinch him.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Oh,
he
yeah.
pretended that he briefly got it, and then he's like, actually, I don't have that nerve, you bitch.
I do feel like in the Mirror Universe, like, even if it wasn't lost in battle, you'd just have it surgically altered anyway, so Vulcans can't pull that shit on you.
Ooh, that'd be smart.
Yeah,
Malcolm doesn't have that nerve, but he does have the fucking audacity. Go on.
What else? Oh, Stamets did literally nothing this week. He's
Nope.
kind of...
No,
Jumped us in
guys,
once.
he looked really sad when he got the medal.
Well, I guess-
and then he also was like, no, they're trying to figure out how to run this ship without me, so I just get to sit back and fucking drink mojitos.
True.
Also, like,
Chippers on a beach.
when they said Culber's name, they were like, and medical person, Hugh Culber. Like, they didn't even call him doctor. Is he not a doctor? Shouldn't they said
You'd think they
Dr.
would have, but
Hugh Culber? They
Yeah,
didn't say doctor.
Was he a Merce?
Well,
I don't
don't
know.
they usually like say whatever your position is? I don't quite know. That's a good
Well, his
I feel
question.
like an
position is-
honorific is like a doctor is generally
yeah.
referred to as doctor.
He
Yeah.
got
As an
his
honorific.
he got his degree online.
Yeah, there you go.
He's a
He went to
phoenix.
Trump University.
No.
No.
He went to
Doctor of deals.
He went to Dr. Nick's alma mater, Hollywood Upstairs Medical School.
Hmm.
What is that?
The Simpsons.
Ah.
And okay, I don't know if we're at the point yet, but I do want to make sure we talk about the elephant in the room.
You mean
They're
the Enterprise in the room?
Yeah, so we're told at the end of the episode that okay, we're going to Vulcan to meet our new captain, but on the way we pick up a signal or a distress call. I don't know if it's just distress call or what, but anyway, so somebody's calling us on the phone, but the signal's not very good, so we
Yeah.
can only get the first 6 characters of their identifier. It's NCC17Z. That's the sound
What?
of me coming everywhere.
Oh,
What
my.
was it I had said in our first 2 episodes of Discovery Review years ago? Oh man, yeah, we probably won't see the
Exactly,
Enterprise at
yeah.
all. Maybe at the very end they'll show a
At the-
Constitution class.
At the finale of the whole fucking thing, 7 seasons in, they'll hand it off.
Whoops.
Nope.
Yeah, I have a note here. The writing staff knew from the start that the last shot of the season would be the Enterprise because they wanted to feel. They felt like the audience would have to know, like, oh, next season we're going to see Spock because we are owed Spock because Burnham has talked about how she's his like foster sister or some shit. You have to do it, and it's like you don't have to do anything. This is
No,
your own.
no, they don't.
This is your show. You don't have to
didn't
give the
have
fans a
to-
thing.
You didn't have to make her Spock's foster sister.
Also, you didn't have to make
Yeah,
this a
all of this was a
prequel.
choice.
Yeah, you like they could have told the same story and have her be adopted by a different Vulcan.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, but the thing
What
is,
another
I think,
Vulcan? Yeah, I know.
the thing is I think that Sarek, because of like his like being married to human women's,
Yeah, it makes it
and
more
stuff.
likely. And
well, and also just like, I don't know, like I feel like maybe most Vulcans would be even less happy about their progeny, even if they're adopted going into Starfleet. You know, I don't know.
could have been T'Pol.
Mm.
Very old T'Pol adopts Michael.
That
And,
bum.
and Trip Tucker on ice, waiting to be thawed out.
There you go.
Oh, poor Trip.
But so we have the Enterprise now. Presumably Spock is on board because it's the
Pike era.
Enterprise under Pike. They even they name drop Pike, and Sarek's on Discovery.
Mhm.
But we know from Babel, Journey to Babel, that Spock and Sarek have had a falling out.
Yeah. Well, they definitely, him and Michael share a look of like, oh, this is going to be weird.
Hmm.
But it also makes sense as to why the Enterprise crew still wouldn't know about Spock's lineage, though, because it's Captain Pike, not Kirk. So,
Yeah.
you know, at least they
Yeah,
kept
'cause
that.
the whole crew turns over between.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, it's the thing is we all know what comes of it, but at the time it definitely feels like We're already doing this?
Remember a couple of weeks ago when we went to the Mirror Universe and it was like, wow, Discovery's jumped the shark. How many fucking sharks can we jump, people?
I will say, though.
So many.
Huge credit to Jeff Russo, the composer. Because when they do the cover of the TOS theme over the end credits, he made sure there were bongos.
Oh my god, so many bongos.
So many covers forget that there are bongos in the original TOS theme. But he kept them in.
Not only did he keep them in, I feel like he really emphasized them.
No, the mix lets you hear them very nicely. One thing they definitely missed, since they were going full fan wank anyway, what they should have done was at the very end had Saru staring out at the camera with like the production company logo over him, like they used to have the Clint Howard puppet.
Like the Baylock puppet?
Like,
oh
my god, yes!
Actually, no, they should have just had the Clint Howard as Baylock doing the thing, laughing. Why not?
Yeah,
why the
just
fuck not?
Go
wank,
whole
wank,
fucking
wank.
hog.
Oh my god, what if Clint Howard's character, what's it called? Baylock?
Baylock, yeah.
What if they're Benjamin Button people, and what we're actually seeing is Baylock as a much younger man, a much younger, older man.
Orions actually age backwards and do First Federation people.
Yep, there you go. Canon.
And that's why he's so wise.
What do you think? What do y'all think of the redesign of the Constitution class?
I assume this is controversial. I honestly don't know. It's my favorite version.
Everything is controversial, Chris.
I mean,
it's Star Trek.
Nothing is ever going to top, in my opinion, the Constitution refit from the motion picture.
TMP.
But I like this. I like this design. You know, it feels somewhat like it feels like it should be from a period between TOS and the movies because it's got the swooped back
and a million
pylons.
windows.
Like it definitely feels more like an evolution of the original Enterprise in intermediate step before it gets to TMP, but
yeah,
I'll allow it. I think it's all right.
That's why I love it, because I think until this came along, my favorite was similarly the movie version of the Constitution class. Because, like, I preferred the swept-back, sturdier nacelles and the sturdier looking neck. And so now what they've done is they've taken the sturdier elements from that version and slapped them on the old one, which has those big, goofy, orange Bussard collectors that I love.
The orange Bussard collectors are beautiful.
So that's why it's like, for me, it's the best of all versions. I remember at the time, I don't know if this nickname stuck around, but because the nacelle struts have that strange gap in them, people were referring to them at the time as the potato peeler struts.
Yeah, I could see that.
I don't know if that caught on, but that's what I have personally thought of them as ever since.
I'm wondering what the practical, if some in-universe, if some nerd has figured out, like,
saves
for
material.
better navigation underwater.
It's cheaper. It's cheaper because it's hollow.
Yeah.
No, I think it's a good, like, interpretation for this era.
Yeah.
I do kind of wish it weren't so chrome and matched the color of the original a little bit better. Because this one, because it's so chrome, it does look like a kitchen appliance. You nailed it with this potato peeler thing.
That's not mine. I saw it elsewhere.
No, I love it. I think that was the thing that's most noteworthy is it's so dark colored, which makes sense, like more sense scientifically than like the bright white or like, off-white Enterprise that we see in TOS. But it makes me miss that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't, I guess technically, like you wouldn't bother painting a starship,
You
might.
could.
I mean, you could, but why?
Starfleet doesn't. By and large. Occasionally there's a fun
stripe.
stripe.
They did for TOS, but they didn't by the time.
Yeah.
Can we put the flame decals on the side?
It's interesting because I was reading a thing not long ago about the fact that, like, when they made the movies, they wanted, like, it was film stock, it was higher resolution. They were like, we don't want just this white model. Like, back on old TV, it was fine. It was low, it was, shitty 60s televisions, half the viewers were still in black and white anyway, fucking whatever. And that's when they came up with what is called, apparently, Aztecing, which is that weird patterning that all Starfleet ships have from the movies on in the metal, where there's just these, like, little, almost box patterns, and sometimes a little darker, a little lighter.
Yeah, well, I don't know if this is the actual in-universe explanation for Aztecing, but my assumption was that it's just, those are, like, discrete, like, hull plates.
Yeah.
And, like, because they're just mass produced, there's variations. So like some of them are a little darker than others.
Yeah. But yeah, it's basically like, because I don't know if this one, the new Enterprise now, the Disco Prize, is if it's the Aztecing effect or if they've come up with a whole new look for it. I don't remember. I haven't looked closely at it to be sure.
Well, I just think they're doing just a raw metal surface for it.
Yeah.
You know, like it's
Yeah.
just
it
just
has-
made out of steel.
Yeah, it has seams. It doesn't have the Aztecing. It has like
Yeah, that's what it
deliberate
is.
seams, I think. Like the Aztecing, you can even say like maybe some of the panels were replaced and these were the ones that have more wear on them. And
Yeah. Yeah.
because
It
we
looks-
see
it looks-
in Enterprise, they have to go out there sometimes, pull up a panel, fix something under it, put it back.
Yeah. Well, and I was going to say that the surface of the ship, it's more reminiscent of the NX-01 in terms of its like finish,
Yeah, that's a good point.
where it's just kind of metal.
It's kind of it almost like, again, how the uniforms here are somewhere, they're more refined versions of the Enterprise ones. Like took the sort of the Enterprise blue, but then made them, more carefully tailored and put on like all the metal stuff. So now they've got like a fancier version of the Enterprise hull, the NX-01 hull rather, for the 1701 hull. But yeah, it was definitely, unexpected at the time. I thought surely they wouldn't, and then they did.
It was unexpected, and yet when they did it, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, you did it. I get it. Like, I don't think, like, even though I think, like, last night when I was watching, it's like, oh, you get the chills because the music hits you, and it's like, oh, there's the Enterprise, you get the chills. But then you realize at the end, like, did I want this, though?
And that's
Is my body reacting to a thing I don't actually want?
And the other thing is, of course, is this now exists in the retrospect of, we have Strange New Worlds now. So, like, I know what comes of it. So even trying to treat this as much as not a rewatch, but trying to treat it in isolation, I can't manage that as effectively now,
True, yeah.
Like,
yeah, we didn't review as it came out, so.
Yeah, it was a very different thing. We didn't even know, like, anything exactly. They didn't have a Pike yet. They didn't have a Spock. They didn't have anyone cast.
Yeah, we don't even have the Pike line. We just have someone like on the comm say it's Pike. He's sending a signal. You don't even hear what it is or his voice.
Yeah. And again, it's one of those things like, TOS, you're like, oh, fuck, Pike. And then everyone else is like, who the fuck is Pike? Was that? If they saw the Kelvin movies, I guess they kind of knew.
Yeah, and that's the thing that I always wonder about, like, who is the audience watching this show? Is it people who know who Pike is? And I feel like it's mostly people who know who Pike is who are watching this show.
Yeah, for sure.
Because this is not a show you can easily just jump into.
Yeah, no. Despite their original idea being that you should be able to.
Whoopsie.
Speaking of it being a show you jump into.
No, I have more notes.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, there's some more notes.
No, please.
First off, here's a cute one. Neither Mary Wiseman nor Sonequa Martin Green were meat eaters. So whatever the Gormagander meat was had to be concocted from coconut wafers and other vegan ingredients.
Huh.
I can't
Seems
tell
funny.
if it looked disgusting or delicious, so...
I thought it kind of looked like watermelon, so I was
was
surprised
that
it wasn't just that.
Was that the space whale or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yes.
Gormagander.
Gormagander. Well, what's good for the Gormagoose is good for the Gormagander, am I right?
Nice.
Thank you.
Did I have anything else useful? Oh, they had the previously on in Klingon, which was a choice.
That was
did.
kind of weird.
They did. Was it Voke or Laurel? I can't
It was
remember.
Laurel.
Okay.
But I think there was some flashback to Vogue, question mark?
Mate, probably.
Or am I wrong?
Possibly.
No, I could be lying, though.
I didn't super pay attention to the
No, and-
previously on because I just watched it.
Actually, what am I talking about? I don't even know if I watched it. But oh no, you know why? It's because I'm thinking of when Ash was speaking Klingon.
Oh, he was doing that. That's
Trying to
true.
get his ash kicked, if you know what I mean.
I want to kick that ash.
Hey.
Georgiou adding Tilly to the away mission was stretchy.
Yeah,
Like,
there's no
it was
real
good-
reason for her to want to.
It was good she was there, but it meant like how did you picked literally because you knew who Killy was and wanted to see what this version was like.
Yeah, she picked
speaking
her
of
to
which-
fuck with her.
Yeah, so I want to call one. So she mentions to Tilly how she worked with Killy, and they the two of them suppressed the Betazoids and conquered Bentaka 3.
Yeah.
Which makes Mintaka 3, you'll recall,
was familiar, but I didn't look it up.
Is a proto-Vulcan. It's from Who Watches
Bobby
the
Hill.
Watchers.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a proto-Vulcan, like prehistoric, primitive society. Like what? I mean, I feel like you could conquer them
pretty
with
easily.
a hand phaser.
Yeah.
Like why did you need to how triumphant was this for the Empire to take down these fucking...
Maybe they're super advanced in the mirror universe.
Maybe, I guess, but...
It's possible, too, that because of whatever the Terrans had been up to, maybe it had been taken and used by the rebels.
Yeah, maybe.
As opposed to,
sense.
I don't know, it just seems like a weird name drop.
They could have chosen a better name to drop.
Yeah, it was a reference. Yeah, it was a reference so that the fans could jizz. Which is so much Trek.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, fans that would recognize that name would recognize, that's not a great one to conquer because, it's like prehistoric tribes of people.
Yeah, so many other planets you could have picked, again, I already said Andor, Tellar, someone give me a better one. Those are too obvious.
Of what?
Well, they already did Betazoid, so I think they could have stopped at Betazoid or Beta Z.
Yeah.
Fuck me! Wow, I got it wrong for a change.
You really want to pull one out? Bajor.
Yeah, Cardassia.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, those are big guns, though.
Yeah, but
Well, if you want a
Beta planet.
deep cut,
I was kind of looking for
Organia.
There we go.
Because we know that's a mineral rich planet that Klingons and humans both kind of want,
and we know they're actually super advanced semi-godlike beings.
Yeah,
so
but
beating them would be glorious.
Yeah, exactly. Taking them down and stealing their planet. That would be impressive.
Or the Organians just left because they're like, this isn't worth our time.
Yeah, it's like these fucking assholes.
Take our colored goats and leave.
Or here's the thing: in the Mirror universe, they might be evil Organians.
Or again, since we already have Clint, the First Federation.
Yeah, there you go.
Who again,
fun.
More powerful than the Prime Universe Starfleet, at least.
Mm-hmm.
Those puppets can take a beating, though.
Mm.
And finally, one little line thing that the more you think about it, the more I'm like, this felt like it didn't match up. Because remember, in the previous episode, when Michael confronts Ash over the whole, we're broken up now, fuck you.
Yeah.
She's like, when I look in your eyes, I can only see Vokes, blah, blah, blah. I can only see the Klingon who attacked me, all this thing. In this episode, it's like, in your eyes are Ash Tyler. And it's like, which eyes are you looking at now? How many eyes does this man have?
3.
Yeah, you mean well, but you're just confusing him.
And all of them are brown.
Mm.
Brown eye.
That's right.
Oh, we got a screen share happening.
I'm sharing the screen. Hang on. How do I drag this fucking thing out of the way? There we go. Drag that. Okay. Let me know if you guys get audio, and we'll probably link this on the Facebook or something. But
yes.
After this episode aired February 2018, in March, they dropped a bonus scene.
Yep.
That would, also be like kind of our extra ending that I've never seen before. So we're gonna watch.
See, I remember this.
We're going to watch it together, guys. Play.
All right.
We're seeing some Orions being sexy.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, what's going on here?
That guy almost looks like a TMP Klingon.
The Georgiou?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hey, girl.
Yeah, Georgiou's here, looking sexy. Ooh, his trill bot's turned off.
Like her tiny little silly drink horn.
This does seem nice.
Mm-hmm.
You see all those butts? Black badge! Holy shit!
Yeah, I remember.
Oh my god.
Wow.
I remember watching that when they released it years ago. And it's fucking stupid.
How did you feel then?
Why would Section 31 have a delta?
Because we saw it in the Vulcan Hello.
Right, and that didn't make sense then either.
No, it didn't.
Like, their whole thing is they just kind of hide out wherever. They don't have unique branding except for the cool Sloan jacket. But that's their branding. And they're not... I know where this goes, so I can't... It's dumb. It's stupid. They don't understand that the one huge bug in my ass about streaming Trek is they don't get that Section 31 are bad guys. They are bad, not anti-heroes, not a necessary evil. They are just bad. That was the point. Even Enterprise understood that.
That's true, yeah. We hated Agent Harris. Fuck that guy.
I mean, I could see if they didn't have the Delta, if it was something else.
Yeah.
And then that, like they could have this sort of teaser, and then if in season 2 Georgiou was like an adversary that was doing bad shit and we had to stop her, it's like, oh my god, like, ooh, the consequences of our actions, we unleashed this monster on our galaxy, and now she's like starting up a shadow government with this Section 31 bullshit. Like that would be a cool villain.
Yeah, I'm curious because one day when we get to our blog activities after we've watched the whole of Discovery, after that amount of time, we'll have to do our favorite villains of Discovery. And I don't know how they treat Georgiou because they don't think she's a villain.
No.
But this is going to be a thing for next season. So apparently Georgiou is not to be seen ever again. She's going to be teased to be in Section 31. We'll get to it when we get to section season 2, season 31. But yeah, it sets me up for like being very concerned because they make it look cool and it shouldn't.
Yeah, and they're not.
Cool.
They're bad people. I still haven't seen the fucking movie.
I feel like you're probably not going to until we cover it for the show.
I don't know. I feel like the internet is this close to spoiling it for me, so I really should.
There's not really much to spoil. It's just bad.
Fair.
Yeah, I feel like even if I spoiled it for you, you'd still watch it and have the same thoughts. So
fair.
But I'm still not going to spoil it for you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, so here's an interesting
31.
thing.
Yeah.
You were joking that you not joking. You misspoke. You said next section or something. But then I was like curious. I was like, what season of Star Trek is this?
I was wondering that too.
So I was like, 3 TOS,
yep,
2 TAS,
yes,
technically,
7 TNG, 7 Voyager, 7 DS9, 4 Enterprise, and 1 season of Discovery.
Yep,
that's 31 seasons.
Oh my God, you've QAnon.
There's the QAnon.
Oh,
30, season 31.
Wait, that's how they do. Holy shit. Well, thank you, Jake.
Fucking funny, actually. I'm not going to lie.
Mm-hmm.
So how was this 31st season for us as we segue smoothly into our kind of season wrap-ish thing? I have no idea how this is going to look on the blog or if I even do one.
Yeah, we decided, listeners, I can't remember if we've discussed this on air before. We've discussed it off air a lot, but like, because of the way the story works and because there's fewer episodes, our usual top and bottom thing isn't going to work. So we're just going to talk in a general way.
Are we going to split it between positive and negatives, you think?
I think we just...
That will help me with the blog.
How does everyone else feel? I have no strong opinion.
I have bullet points of good versus bad things.
All right, let's try to do it that way. What are we starting with?
Start good.
Oh, we're starting good. I know Chris loves to end on good.
Okay, we can start bad. I don't give a shit.
All right, could have been
Jake,
shorter.
You were giving 2 choices and you made the wrong one. How does that make you feel?
Yeah.
What'd you say?
Pretty good, actually. Fuck you.
Could have been shorter. I think we were kind of talking about this a few weeks ago. I feel like it needs to
be longer.
I think we didn't need 4 episodes in the Mirror Universe, and we could have better utilized the time that was given over to the 2 actively bad episodes. And
yeah, they could have just been combined with another episode and made more sense.
Like, so if we'd freed up some time with less time in the Mirror world, which I love, don't get me wrong, but there was still too much of it, and better utilize that, like, if not shorter, the story could have been told more smoothly if they had utilized their existing time better. But I also think if they'd used the time better, they probably could have lopped off an episode or 2.
Yeah, I'll agree. I think I don't know about shorter. I think it's already pretty short at 15 episodes.
Yeah,
but I do think that pacing was a problem, especially toward the end. I think that they I think and I wasn't too, I thought that 4 episodes in the Mirror Universe was fine. It was fine for that arc. But I think that the early season arc between Context is for Kings and when we go to the Mirror Universe was really kind of drawn out. And I think that's where we could have condensed some stuff, made, put the mirror stuff a little earlier, and then been able to spend more time on the final arc.
So maybe not shorter, but better utilization of the time they had.
Yeah, like
exactly.
Because it felt so rushed at the end.
Yeah.
I feel like it was lopsided in a weird way, where there was a lot of setup and then you rush to the end.
Yeah.
Well, it could have just been a more even pace of paying things off and getting us toward the ending without having to rush it.
Yeah. So maybe that's what it is. Not too long, but slightly fucked up how they utilized the time they used.
I would say I would have liked to see more focus on characters that aren't the main, like the supporting characters, I'll say. So, we obviously spent a ton of time with Burnham. Like nothing happens really if Burnham isn't involved.
Yeah.
But, I would have liked to see more about, the bridge crew that we don't really know, Detmer, OO, Robot Head.
The 2 chaps who are basically interchangeable.
Yeah, those 2 guys.
Reese and...
Bryce.
I always remember Reese. Bryce, half the time I don't get it.
I mean, even I would say, like, Stamets, I think, got shortchanged by the end.
Yeah,
in terms of,
I agree. I think
what
like
was
they
his
used him
journey?
a lot. They used him a lot at the beginning. They kind of exploited him as part of the getting rid of Culber and use that for just let's just have some drama. So again, I don't think they use him as well. I think they could have done more with Saru, honestly.
That thing is, I think I was influenced by later seasons where I think they use Saru a lot more. So I was surprised by how much he wasn't in this season. And even Stamets, I think, is more constant in future seasons. So I kind of forgot that in this season, he just kind of goes away, sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah, like what was kind of his development? His development was he gets to like spores, but he already liked spores.
Yeah, and he
loses his husband, but we kind of don't really let that settle because we're in the middle of a war arc.
Yeah.
Right.
And, he is frequently sad because, as I said, Anthony Rapp has amazing, resting, mournful face.
He wasn't trying to be sad. That was just his face.
Yeah.
What's a point from you, Caitlin? What didn't you like?
Snoring. What didn't I like? Well, the rush job at the end was definitely a little, and again, like just the idea of like it didn't really seem totally feasible as like a realistic ending to the season. I thought like our jaunt over to, what was that planet where like Saru got brainwashed?
Yeah, Wispy World there.
Wisp World seemed like it was
you.
maybe a bad use of time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't really have a problem with things like the Klingon redesign and shit like that.
Yeah, no.
Though there is just a lot of Klingon being spoken, which sometimes is a little annoying, but like that's not like the worst. At least there's subtitles, unlike, say a Star Wars Christmas special or something.
Yeah, but I also heard the argument that because the Klingon is so hard to speak and because it has to have the subtitles, that it slows the pace down significantly when you're watching.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
Becomes boring, which Klingons should never be boring.
Yeah, no. I don't know. I think I think like there was also some like stuff in the beginning that was a little bit rocky that they sort of smoothed out. Like I'm not sure where we all fall now on how Stamets is in the end, but he definitely started off a little too bitchy, and I'm glad that it got pulled back a little bit.
Yeah, he started off too bitchy, became interesting, and then kind of vanished for me.
Yeah.
So that I still don't actually have much of an impression of him other than his initial bitchiness.
I feel like everybody kind of got like their personalities like dialed up to 11 for that first couple of episodes because they did the same thing with Tilly. I feel like she is never as fucking annoying as she is in the first couple episodes. Like you see glimpses of that Tilly, but thankfully they like
it's not
dial
all
it back
she does.
a little bit. Yeah, I mean pacing. That's most of it. I think pacing, but it was reasonably easy to follow, which is usually my big complaint is that like I just can't like keep track. And I think this will be the only season that I'll say that for, because I think that part of why I liked this season and don't like subsequent seasons is because this had a plot that I sort of understood.
Oh, here's a question for you guys. Because I know we talked about this a little bit when we had those two like prologue episodes, and we wondered at the time, would it have been better off if we started with episode 3 and we're on the Discovery already, had our captain already, and then kind of like included the backstory of Burnham's mutiny later? What do you guys think now?
It could have been an okay, like, something that we could have gotten in flashbacks and stuff.
Yeah, I think that would have been better for them. Yeah, definitely.
Because otherwise it just feels like, here's a made-for-TV movie, the Discovery prequel.
Yeah.
And then here's Discovery, the Star Trek prequel following. Like,
here's a lot of characters that we've killed off and you don't get to really see anymore.
And also, like, could they have, I mean, like, since we're talking about pacing and sort of the rushed nature of the end of the series, like, could they have made the Captain Georgiou cycle, if you will, like, could they have somehow whittled that down to, like, one episode?
Maybe.
I don't know that they could have, but...
Well, if it had been through, like, flashbacks or some other method, it wouldn't...
That's true,
the
too.
whole nature of it.
But yeah, that's true.
This is a very, maybe just a me thing or a very personal thing, but they did a lot of work to design some really fun Starfleet ships and some really pretty Klingon ships, and they never gave you a fucking good look at most of them.
Not enough ship porn.
Yep. So bad at ship porn. Very mad.
That's always your complaint. Every season, every series, not enough ship porn. Not enough ship porn.
Even get a lot of good looks at the Discovery herself, and she's the hero ship. Like, come on, guys.
Oh, guys, that reminds me. That's my big complaint. Not enough Black Alert.
Yeah, you remember there being a lot more.
I remember there being a ton of Black Alert.
Black Alert. Yeah, and they only showed that floating liquid effect
once.
The first time we saw it, and then never again. They fixed it.
I wish they had never shown it at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think I didn't understand what we wanted to do for our season wrap, and it came up with just kind of like much more specific things I don't like.
Yeah.
That kind of took me out of the season. I mean, the first is one I've bitched about before, which was most of my problems with Discovery season 1 are like writing based.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically, like clunky ass writing shit, like in The Wolf Inside when Tyler activates because they said K-less in his presence because of the really, really forced fucking scene.
Yeah.
Or like when Burnham figures out that Lorca is a mirror Lorca because of some really fucking clunky writing in the Lorca reveal scene.
Yep.
And
too many twists.
Do you think there were too many twists?
I don't know.
Is it just the nature of modern TV that you feel like you need twists? Like in freaking Westworld or something?
But it does feel like to have both, like, Voke and Mirror Lorca, it's like, maybe it should have been one or the other, guys. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, and then we're stuck with, and then we have Mirror Georgiou, which is also, I mean, aside from the fact that we know the twist, but the rest of the crew doesn't know the twist until the first moment she fucking talks.
Yeah, yeah.
There's 10 seconds where the whole crew is completely taken aback and surprised and shocked.
Yeah,
and then
like,
she opens her mouth.
Yep.
Yeah, Tilly's like, oh, you're not the reveal Georgiou at all, are you? No, Tilly, she is not.
She played that reveal scene pretty well. That was funny.
I want to show.
Not,
I want to show Chris
mm-hmm.
another scene if I share the screen again.
Uh-oh.
Fuck me. I hate
this
so fucking much. So right now we're watching the scene from Despite Yourself, which is the technobabble in which they just circle and circle and circle and circle.
And I somehow didn't notice. And yeah, how did I not notice? It's fucking awful.
Yeah, it's making me sick.
It never stopped. Like the camera continues to spin even when they cut, which is
this is terrible.
Yeah, it's dizzying to watch. It's terrible. Like if you did one, oh my god, that cut was. Oh, the cuts hurt.
How did I miss this? Also, again, like Jonathan. Wow, dude, we
Johnny
expect
Frakes?
better of you. Yeah.
Yeah, you can do this. Like they do this for timed it out. They do this for a full minute, and that's way too much.
What, this was Riker? Riker directed this?
Yeah.
What the fuck, man?
Okay, so what's...
like, it's clearly to show off this cool visual effect of the hologram on the table, but yeah, otherwise, yeah, terrible.
This is the worst thing since fucking Tom Paris told Archer how to jump over a fucking whatever that was, railing.
Oh, the railing.
Okay, what's more painful?
Or was that Geordi?
No, that was
Tom Paris.
Oh, I was right. Good for me.
What's more painful? A minute of spinning around a table or 6 minutes of just flying past the Enterprise and TMP?
Oh, that's a tough one.
That's a tough question.
That's a good one.
Okay, here's the thing. The TMP flyby is boring, but at least you're not getting motion sickness.
Yeah, and you're also seeing a really cool model that they built.
And the music.
The
music was good, too.
Yeah.
And good music.
It was good music.
And there is that one shot... where fucking the face Doohan is making at Shatner. It's like he's not acting at that point. He's not being Scotty. He is being James Doohan, who is livid to be standing next to Shatner again.
Yeah, just like, and that because like this spinning thing on like the constant moving character, it kind of becomes the visual language of Discovery, and I think it's also like very common in a lot of like modern television to do. Just because you feel like you're making a movie, so you have to really pull out all the stops with your camera work and your visuals and your this and that, and it's too much.
There are people that study these things, and I kind of wonder if, like, the orbiting camera is kind of to modern television what rapid fire, like, quote-unquote music video style editing and cuts was to, like, early 2000s action movies. Like, I remember reading years ago people bitching about that movies were being edited like music videos with like a lot of rapid fire, super short cuts. And that was like a trend for a while in film.
Guy Ritchie films or something
did
shit like that.
But
or
I kind of wonder,
kind of movie. Yeah,
but I kind of wonder if now like orbiting camera is like the trend and it'll eventually be replaced by another bad
something
trend.
Worse, probably.
Like I kind of wonder, is it just, like, because you've said you've seen it in other shows, so is it just a thing people are doing? Kind of like how everybody did bullet time for a little while after the first Matrix.
And I think it's specifically like an action thing. Like, I don't know if you see this in like more experimental shows. Like Jake and I are watching Severance right now, which is fucking gold.
It's so good!
And they don't have to resort to the weird camera shit.
No, but they have some beautiful long cuts.
I love whenever they're walking the fucking hallways.
Yes, and they're fucking keeping the same cut the whole time. It's great.
Those are hard.
You would love that shit. I think of you every time they do that.
Severance is very good. I think Severance is up your alley, Chris.
You would like Severance. It's fucking, it's real good.
Anyway, that's just just a thing about like the Discovery visuals, while beautiful and theatrical, like movie theatrical, sometimes too much. Pull back, guys. Oh, great. I know you won't in the future. Fuck me.
Yeah. And again, unclear if it is unique to them or just endemic of how TV do now.
Truth. Very truth. Here's something that's definitely them and not just TV now. Landry fucking sucked as a character and needed fixing. Terrible.
Yeah. In this universe or the other.
Yeah.
The other one made sense. Like, I think people were thinking they brought over Mirror Landry too, and that would make sense because she was terrible.
I think it's us. I think we were people.
Yeah, I thought that. I was surprised when she was alive in the Mirror universe.
They should have had, if they wanted to have Mirror Landry, she should have been a rebel.
That's true.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
I got a missed opportunity.
Oh, I like those.
Destroying Mirror of Discovery off screen.
Yeah.
Would that have been like really expensive? Probably.
Yeah.
They've spent so much on this. They could have just cut a different destroying a thing scene and yet done this one instead.
I mean, they also could have just had some stuff happening on Mirror Discovery. They already had
the sets,
they had the characters.
The costumes.
Really needed to let Mary Wiseman do her thing.
That would have been great.
Seeing actual Killy would have been fun.
That would have been fun, yeah.
What did we like?
I have a couple. Can I get to go through my list of other like very small moments I didn't like? Because I just think you guys would like some of these.
There was a pause. I thought we were done. Sorry, go on.
Oh, my bad. No, I was typing down that note from Jake. How cop-outy the light sensitivity the mirror folk have.
Oh, yeah.
Cop-outy. Could have had a different reveal. I found the fuck forced.
Oh, big time.
Yeah, again, I have nothing against the word, but it it didn't feel natural. We said it at the time. They were doing it because they could, and
then
felt
they
out of
underlined
place.
it, and then they told
They
you,
did.
and then it's like they winked at you. It was like, we did it.
Yeah, we said the word.
It is
like, fuck
fucking
you.
cool. Wink.
As I think it was me. If it was me, if it wasn't, I apologize for stealing someone else's thunder. But the first fuck should have been when Stamets slammed his head into that couch. That would have been a good place for a natural, just a loud fuck, because that looked, again, knowing full well it's fake. They shot it convincingly enough that at the time I went, fuck.
Yeah, no, it looked like it hurt a lot.
Yeah.
And it was you that said that.
Okay, good.
A couple other things I want to bring up. The goofy Stella ending in Magic to Make the Sanest Man Go Mad.
Yeah, they
Bad
slightly
ending.
fucked that up. Again, I think Jake worked out a better way to have done it.
Mm-hmm. I still hate that the insignias on Mirror Universe are flippy flopped.
Yeah, I didn't notice that. That is overdoing it.
Dumb.
The world wouldn't be backwards. Stop it.
But it's a mirror.
The Elon Musk reference aged terribly. Like,
so
guys,
badly.
go back now and just fix it. At
Yeah.
this point, you can go back and just say Clag Dorn from Voltrix 5.
I don't know.
George Lucas, that shit.
But I don't like when George Lucas does it, so I really don't want them to do it.
Do you want
they
Musk
should-
in your Star Trek?
I think that they have to they made a fucking choice, and now they have to live with it forever.
Well, now it just makes that fan theory that it's a hint that he's from the Mirror Universe all the more realistic seeming.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's even worse. He's from fucking apartheid world.
He's from our universe, which it turns out is the Mirror Universe.
Yeah. What is his Elon Musk like?
Probably a lot like our Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Kind of like damp and sort of gross.
If we've got Mirror Elon Musk, presumably Prime Elon Musk is maybe like Smiley.
Gross.
Or just
Or maybe the Prime Universe is lucky and he doesn't exist.
yeah, I don't think.
Last thing
there
I
are
wanna-
infinite universes, so yeah, maybe there is a universe where that's the case.
Yeah, last thing I kind of do want to nitpick on, even though like I do enjoy the design of most things. I think the Discovery Bridge is too big.
Bridge is definitely too big.
It's fucking huge.
It looks like they have to shout to each other
They
across the room.
They do shout
Pass
to each
the
other.
salt.
Yeah. And I think, we will, minor preview. I think the Enterprise bridge initially is a little too big.
Oh, I agree, yeah.
Then when they get to Strange New Worlds, they shrink it down a little.
Good on
So it's a
them.
little more akin to her size in the old shows.
Neat.
But it's not, but otherwise, there's a lot of good this season. I think, like, Discovery Season 1 started off intriguingly, and they had flaws. We mentioned many of the flaws. But overall, I was still interested in watching this show at the end of this season.
Yeah. I mean, I would say it's in terms of introductory seasons for Star Trek series, probably one of the better ones. Maybe the best since TAOS. I don't know.
Maybe.
Because we've all talked about how shitty the first season of TNG was.
Yeah.
The first season of DS9 wasn't terrible, but it also wasn't
way
great.
stronger than people like to claim it
Well,
is.
and
Yeah,
it's
it's got
also
a lot
better
of
than
good
anything
episodes, but it's
before
also
it,
just,
in my opinion.
The first season of Voyager is fine.
Yeah.
And
I think definitely I've heard people claim the first seasons are always bad, and it's like, no. The first season of TNG is a trash fire. The first seasons of DS9 and Voyager, I think, are way better than people give it credit for.
But they also get much better. They also might still be the worst seasons of their series.
Yeah, it's
That
not
is
so
true,
much that it's a terrible. It's just that compared to later seasons, they tend to be weak, and then the show
But I
kind of
think-
comes into its own.
I definitely have seen people try to claim that the first seasons of those shows are as bad as the first season of TNG, and it's like, whoa, calm the fuck down.
Yeah.
Is it still the weakest of the series? Sure, but no.
I think Enterprise kind of bucked that trend though, because
All the
first
seasons
Because it's
are
all
bad.
bad. Yeah.
they're all bad, but there are much worse seasons.
Yeah, I mean,
three is definitely worse than.
But you do feel like they really fucking blew it from the off. I feel
Yeah.
like even the fucking the pilot or the first
We were bored. We were
episode
super bored.
or whatever, it's just like, fuck this.
But season 3 is philosophically reprehensible.
Yeah, so I guess we'll find out which direction Discovery goes from here out.
But very an entertaining first season. I've talked before about how I like the look of so many things in it. I like the uniforms. I like the ship.
I love the uniform.
Bridge is definitely too big. But the ship itself, I like. Not that you get to see them, but they did design some very nice Klingon ships, some very nice Starfleet ships.
Even the Klingon ships, yeah.
Yeah. Like, you get the impression that the house is fractured, and then each kind of developed its own unique aesthetic.
Yeah, we saw once, I think we saw the shuttle when Hyler and Lorca are escaping that has kind of that peacock tail thing.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, that's a fun one. You know, I liked that, again, they did develop the characters that they did choose to follow. Like, Tilly got more of a person, luckily, because at first she was just kind of a trope. And I ended up really liking her.
Yeah, and I think cast-wise, I think it's fairly well cast overall.
Yeah.
Like, I think...
Yeah, everyone's a strong actor.
Yeah, there's no compared to...
Weak link.
Yeah, exactly. There was always some... Even in all the other shows, for the most part, there were cast members that you're just like, yeah, you kind of stick out as not being great. But I feel like everybody here is pretty solid actor-wise.
Yeah.
Um,
You can't say and not have anything, Chris.
Well, it's weird. It's like, it's easy to sort of come up with...
things to bitch about.
Yeah. Because there's just, overall, I think I just have a general, like, pleased feeling. So it's a little hard to be like, well, I like this and this and this and this. It's like, overall, like, I'd say my complaints are much more minor. They just seem more prevalent because I was able to say, like, these very specific issues I had. But at the end of the day, overall, I just have a nice feeling when all's said and done.
Yeah, I thought, it was fine. It was fine.
How about you, Caitlin?
Things that I liked?
Yeah, because this was what, I think you said this is like your favorite season of Discovery.
Yeah. Well, I love Saru. He's the best.
Oh, Jeff. Doug Jones is the best too.
Oh yeah, no, he's terrific.
So
100%.
good at this.
He does everything good.
Again, they gave him way less to do this season than I remembered, but what he did great.
Mm-hmm.
There is a reason Saru becomes a big fan favorite.
I love the uniforms. I really like Stamets a lot. I know he starts off as a real bitch, but I just love Anthony Rapp, so it's good shit for me. Oh, God, lots of hotties this season. Ash and Lorca. Yum, 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 yum. Beast. I love when Tilly becomes Killy. Captain Killy fucking rules.
Definitely.
Yeah, and again, I really like Sarek also, and I kind of like...
Oh, that's a good point.
Watching him have to deal with, like, getting to see that he's sort of ashamed for, like, not helping Michael and, like, kind of, I don't want to say humanizing the character, but kind of humanizing the character a little bit.
Yeah, I remember wondering when we first, decided this was going to be a prequel series, like, okay, so the one reason why this seems to be a prequel is so that you can have Sarek in it for reasons. And then when we see Lethe and it kind of like expounds on his character and deepens his character and his bond with Michael, like those are actually like very nice moments.
That's true, yeah.
So, yeah.
Neat.
Cool. Again, I thought we were going to go through specific things and not like a general feelings kind of discussion, but I do have specific things I liked.
Good.
I think I still don't quite know what I overall think of the Michael Burnham character after just this season. I've never been super impressed by stuff she does, but I think her journey was good because we get to the end where she decides, hey, genocide bad. And I think it was finally like, oh, good, yes. Why haven't you been saying this the whole fucking show long?
Yeah.
And I think that's a very great moral stand for her as a character that we were supposed to like all season long. Oh, God, the turbolift fight with Connor is fucking excellent.
Oh, yeah, that's great. That is so well choreographed and shot. Yes.
So well choreographed and shot. Very good. Like that. I also really liked Stamets figuring out the time loop stuff in Magics to make the Sand Man go
That was
mad.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah, for an episode that was kind of contained, it had some good stuff in it. And I also like, this was another big theme of the whole season that they did a pretty good job with, was how we treat trauma.
Yeah.
And we see it in Burnham all over the place. We see it in Tyler all over the place. Yeah. And I love specifically the scene where Cornwell is treating it seriously when he has had an anxiety attack on the Klingon ship.
Yeah. And, a lot of the problems we had, we were like, why are they doing this? Why? We find out, because a lot of the bad ideas are coming from Lorca, who's from the Mirror universe. He, rather than treating trauma, exploits people who have experienced it and pretends he's helping them, when really it's just easier to make them be his tools.
Truth. Yeah, you wonder what he did to make, like, Landry such a fucking bitch.
Yeah.
Like, did she start off that way, or was it at Lorca's prodding?
It's probably something like, you could almost imagine her as a character who was kind of like Prime Connor. He's got that scene where he's concussed and he's like, we're supposed to be explorers. What the fuck is happening? Mm-hmm. She was idealistic. Shit happened. She probably saw some things, and he saw in her this pain and vulnerability, and, rather than trying to help, just dug his finger into the wound and moved it around.
Ooh. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, and I think that's kind of like the strength of season 1 of Discovery is the characters that we do get, which admittedly, yes, I wish we got more of the other characters, but the ones we do get are good.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So Jake us out, Jake. We're done with season 1.
Okay, wow. Well, that was...
Fuck it, we had to rush to the end because we ran out of fucking time.
We dragged our feet. Anyway, yes. So yeah, that's it. That's season 1 of Star Trek Discovery.
Woo!
Will we be covering the next season next week? No, we won't. Instead, we're going to be kind of doing what they did on the show, I guess. They released these short Star Trek episodes that are only like 15 minutes long or something. So we're just going to blast through the first batch of those. They called them Short Treks. So yeah, find us next week doing that on your favorite podcast app, as well as on SoundCloud, Tumblr, Blue Sky. Oh, we're on Blue Sky. We are rocking the Blue Sky, by the way. Yeah, so if you're not following us there, do that. If you're following us on Twitter, no, you're not, because we don't have that. You can also find our podcast, though, on all the podcast apps, Apple, whatever. We're on YouTube.
We're on YouTube?
Yeah, we're on the YouTube.
Tell us more, Jake. This is a new thing.
We're on YouTube. We're on you can watch us on YouTube, on YouTube Music.
Links below.
Yeah. Oh,
sure.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's all happening. I got nothing. My name's been Jake.
This has been Chris.
This has been Ames.
And this is always Caitlin.
Black alert.
Black alert.
Shields up. Black alert.
Red alert.
Ramming speed.
Words.
I did once snort the remnants in a sour gummies bag, that sour sugar, for
Why would
$1.
you do that? That sounds like it would burn.
How much pain were you in?
It burnt like a mother, and then my nose was running for half an hour. I was in college. It was for $1. I was stupid.
It was for $1. I wouldn't do that for $20.
$1.
Of course, the dollar used to be worth something back then. Not like today.
What did we use when we were doing a production of Bug, where the characters have to snort cocaine all show long?
Damn.
Yeah, we used
evaporated milk.
Yeah, it was. I think it was powdered milk.
Gross.
It was still awful.
Used,
it was awful, but it was fine enough that it didn't really bother them. It still wasn't pleasant, I'm sure. But
I will say it was not pleasant, but it was still better than the time I smelled smelling salts when fully conscious.
Oh my!
Is smelling salts just basically ammonia?
Maybe, but.
It's just poop.
We had
wakey.
We had it at this job I had, and my supervisor on my first day was like, "Hey, check this out." So, great boss. But I always kind of wondered, how could something possibly wake you up if you're unconscious? Well, when you're fully conscious, it feels like someone has doused the surface of your brain with gasoline and lit a match. So that's how it wakes you.